Okay, after recent events in the hip hop community, now it kind of makes sense that the enemies have such a violent reaction to our Toronto.
Oh, God. These are not people like us.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody.
It plays. It definitely plays.
Welcome back.
So coming up, one of the side quests we're going to be running into is actually really genuinely disturbing, even by this game's standards. I realized I forgot to put a content warning for that in the version that I've currently rendered, but I will add one just as we are about to enter the room in question. Hopefully I remember to do that.
Man, something beyond the content warnings awaits us today. Now I'm glad I dropped that joke. I dropped a diss track before the game dissed us. And, your YouTube monetization.
Those you have removed from punishment were Perpetual and Esdras.
Also, that ladder that I was staring at in the previous room, that is actually something that was added in DLC. It has to relate to the Amanecidas, the post-game bosses.
Cool.
Ah.
Giving you more places to go.
All the paths of the miracle.
That line is still fascinating to me this time around. The idea that he's like, oh, no, it's so super weird to talk to someone after they've already died. Aren't ghosts the spookiest shit, dude? And it's like, what? No, not really.
I don't know. You should ask Dora. Oh, I should clarify. This is the first recording session we've done post Hades 2 early access.
We live in a post Hades 2 world, my friends. Indie gaming is back on top. It started here. It started here with this generation of indie gaming. This game, Hollow Knight,
really did.
The Salt and Sanctuary, games like this, they paved the way. Oh!
I mentioned back in our first playthrough that this enemy is kind of weird. His name is the Mondrake. Sorry, the Monfrake, or the Monfragora in Spanish. I don't know what the word means exactly, because when you search it on Google, that is literally the only result that comes up is related to Blasphemous.
Do you think it's like related to mandrakes because of the root thing?
Yeah, partially, but also because his character design is based on Salvatore of Montferrat, the hunchback monk who speaks in multiple languages at once from The Name of the Rose.
How?
Oh.
So I'm guessing that Montfrake is like a combination of Montferrat and Mandrake.
Portmanteau kind of thing. I
Yeah,
like it.
exactly.
It's a wordplay pun. They're getting very Dark Souls now, especially with the enemy names. So that you were right. Several videos ago, you mentioned that enemy loves to just launch herself into the spikes. You were right. She did it again.
Yeah, that's the Beidou.
I love that. That's like almost a programmed behavior. Like in Castlevania, you would go along sections that looked a lot like this, with those Gorgon heads that would just be bobbing along to knock you off like baseballs.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, Blasphemous allows you to move while in midair.
But what if...
Change direction, yeah.
But what if when you fell in a pit, you heard... Do-do-do-do-do-do-do?
I would be so angry.
That may be relevant in playthrough number 3.
I'm sorry? What do you... Uh-oh.
Your Castlevania joke may be relevant much later, but... Well, actually, like 4 or 5 videos from now. And there's that name, the High Wills. Again, you also want to remember that.
It's shown up a few times now.
It has,
A couple times.
We don't know what it is, and we won't for quite some time.
I could guess, though. Here, could I guess what the High Wills are?
Sure.
All right, so there's Will Smith. There's, I don't know, Will I Am. What are the other great Wills? Snoop's name isn't Will, but he is pretty high.
Wilt Chamberlain is 1 letter off. I think we can make him an honorary member.
You know what? I can't wait till we dunk and play through 3.
The League of Extraordinary Wills.
All right, when we talk to them about all this, it's going to make a lot of sense. Because I assume that these wills, genuinely speculating here, are, some kind of chthonic order. I know my Lovecraftian stories, and this one's getting pretty chthonic. So there's my speculation as the blind guy in the equation.
Well, I mean, it does make sense when they wanted to, when the government wanted to develop a transport system that could connect all of Custodia. It makes sense that the slogan they used was, "Where there's a high will, there's a highway."
Oh, that was very good. We ought to start like a 3-headed stand-up, like a whose lines it anyway thing, where we each tell a joke. 33% of the time, it works every time.
Would this be the Clive Anderson era, the Drew Carey era, or the Aisha Tyler era?
All of the above! All of the above! Get a bit of the British humor in there. Sure, why not?
I think we just named the 3 heads.
No, one of the 3 heads is busy on The Price is Right. Remember to have your custodians spayed and neutered, because look at what happens when you don't.
So, Thorned Symbol, it just protects you from contact damage, or rather, it decreases how much contact damage.
I was gonna say, if you could walk through enemies now, that would be brilliant. I would love to see that.
There is no flinch from contact damage at all, even if you don't have this equipped. There is only certain melee attacks that cause flinch and knockback.
Right. Okay. So in that case, right, I guess the utility of it comes from when you're just trying to make it pass from produce to produce. Fascinating.
Yeah, so when it comes to artistic inspirations, this area, all the way up to Mother of Mothers, is based on, well, what is currently a multi-faith center, officially called the Mosque Cathedral of Cordoba. That's another city in Andalusia. It was originally a mosque, and then during the Reconquista, it was turned into a cathedral, and now it's a Christian and Muslim multi-faith center.
Wow.
Interesting.
So, how did you learn that? Did the developers talk about it, or did someone find pictures?
Well, yes. The developers talk about a specific area, which is actually what the patio of the Silent Steps is based on, which is there is a courtyard in this cathedral mosque, which when it was a mosque, it was just like a multi-purpose center outdoors. Then after several hundred years after the Reconquista with the Inquisition, it was turned into a prison, and a prison for those who were executed. And speaking of Spanish things, I realized I forgot to look up what a San Benito is. It's a type of clothing, but
so I have an alternate speculation. It is a type of sandwich. Yeah, they modeled specific places after real specific locations, just for the fun of it, for the inspiration of it.
This location is Patio de los Naranjos, which literally means orange trees, patio of the orange trees. And these are very old orange trees that go back to the 18th century. That was...
Oh, wow.
This was post prison, like after the Inquisition.
Penitent one, heed my confession. Cowardice taketh root inside of me in the face of this new test by the grievous miracle. Who are
Can I say that this is one bent over orange tree in front of us?
And those are orange trees in the background.
Oh, let my bent back cover my tears.
This band needs some vitamin C because the rickets are setting in.
Oh, I think it's a bit too late for him.
The cure to his multiple sclerosis is just out of reach. How cruel fate is.
Well, if you remember last time, there was this was actually the very first Amargura that we saw. And if you could get Redento up to here and then kill the Amargura, that is part of his quest, which I believe we will finish in this video.
Oh, most excellent. We're finally starting to guide these folks to their destinations. I'm glad. I mean, he's come a long way. He went halfway across the game world with you.
Yeah, I was not going to take any chances with the Amargura. This is actually a very effective way of cheesing him.
Wait,
Specifically
hit you once
using
and knocked off half your health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically the Vertialis, because, as I've said before, it sort of tapers off or decelerates toward the end of the spell, so it hits many more times.
I could hear it.
Purged my fears and helped this poor pilgrim again. We have chosen different roads, but still, absolution awaits at the end of the path for thee and this sinner. Wherever it is, near or far, in this life or on the other side of the dream.
Yo, I admire his optimism here.
Penitent one.
Yeah. Ew.
One thing I haven't pointed out yet is that all of these rosary beads that Redento has been giving us, they are all optional movement upgrades, which is especially funny coming from this character.
Well, I mean, it's not like he can equip them, you know? He doesn't have a magical rosary or anything like that. He's like, hey, waste not, want not. He's doing things the hard way.
The big toe doesn't really make it clear, the description, but it adds an extra air impulse when you're juggling in the air.
That's cool. That's cool. You can get some DMC action in. Some air recovery stuff. You can pull shenanigans. So he wanted to get inside this place. What does he want to do here? I'm not thinking about the fact that we're actually going to finish the side quest finally. I've just been trying to think of what these folks are actually here for.
Well, Redento's on a journey to meet the statue of a pilgrim that is specific to his sect of the custodian religion. We've actually seen that room before, I believe, in the previous playthrough.
That's right. That classical monk-looking fella. Huh. And I guess it just happened to be beyond the golden door that required us to slay most of the most powerful beings in the realm. It just happened to be back there. This is why when we unseat people, we remove their statues. We put them elsewhere. Take the statue down and just move it somewhere else. It doesn't matter who the new guy is. Just put the old statue somewhere else that's accessible.
Put it in the closet.
Exactly. Put it in the monk closet. You just open up the monk closet whenever you want to talk to the monk, and then you don't have to venture halfway across the game world to get there. I'm just thinking, what if it were on the other side of the Hondo Bell in the first place? And you could just hang out there and, you know? Would he have been rewarded by the fates, though, if he didn't make such a long and arduous journey?
We already have a monk closet, but it's just where Thelonious Monk is buried. If you are under the age of 50 and you got that joke, congratulations.
It's like the telltale heart, essentially. It's like a classic story. It's like where are the big toes buried?
And here's one of the more important lore dumps in the game. We heard it in Spanish already, but here it is in English.
Here we go again.
Of the 3 words. Here is where the first miracle took place. One devout and tormented youngster asked the High Will for punishment. He placed a wooden log where he sat and prayed. He prayed hoping to be heard. He prayed for pain, so he could ease the guilt that sharply pierced his soul. Then, the miracle manifested itself. It made roots grow and twist over his arms and legs, but not a cry nor a complaint came out from his mouth. Every inhabitant of this land bore witness to it, and all of them prayed before the besought eternal joy of that youngster. This triune tree that sprouted years after his death was named the Knot of the 3 Words. For 3 are its twisted trunks, and 3 were the words spoken by that youngster before he died. My great guilt. Every year from its core flows a golden, burning liquid, perpetuating his memory and perhaps to remind us that the first miracle has not abandoned us.
I mean, there are some days where we kind of wish the first miracle had abandoned us, but that's neither here nor there.
Go home, first miracle, you're drunk.
Which kind of sounds like the first miracle has a bladder infection, more than anything to me. But with this burning golden liquid, I had that problem once, and I went to the doctor and got some antibiotics. Why can't the high wills do it?
Well, you know what? It turns out the miracle can cure any disease or any illness except for UTI.
That, that really is the blessing and the curse, isn't it? That there's always something that it can't do. There always must be a way to balance the scales. Sometimes, even the strongest of men must deal with kidney stones. I think that John Blasphemous would love to have one of those on his rosary. How about you?
Yeah, you made the joke before I did, for once. Usually it's the other way around, it seems.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Is that if he had them and they were a chronic problem, over the course of the game, your kidney stone would grow like a thorn, and you'd end up with like a thwomp by the end of the game.
The route that I'm taking here is actually a partially successful version of the grinding route that I took much later in the game. I mean, that's not part of the plan.
No, it was taking damage to save time. Speedrunning tactic.
I think that was more of a speed entertainment trade-off. Also, that charging nail disappeared entirely. He left the map.
Maybe he just ran into the next room. They just fell down the ladder. He's in the pit now.
So this room up here is actually I believe it is the entrance to a piece of DLC that we will be looking at in playthrough number 3, and I'm deliberately holding off on it for later because it's a bit silly.
So that's where you unlock the dunce cap, right? And it just goes right over top of the hat. That's what you meant by silly?
Yes. We have a fool's cap made of paper instead of iron.
Yeah, I like that. The make-believe world, where you have like a paper sword and you can throw paper airplanes instead of like air attacks.
So down here is the other major DLC area that came out alongside Echoes of Salt. It is called Mourning and Havoc. We're going to be visiting this next video.
Ooh.
I don't see why it would be called that. That seems entirely friendly and hopeful to me. Why, is it difficult?
It is it is far and away the most difficult area in the whole game.
How the hell are you supposed to know that?
You're not. It's very easy if you're, if you've just passed the the threshold and, just beaten Esdras for the first time. It's very easy to stumble in there by accident and just, spend hours trying to power through enemies that you have no chance of beating.
I do like that they just let you wander into that. Also, that execution was hilarious. That was hilarious. You bullied that poor guy.
Yeah, it makes more sense when you remember it was recycled from the other polearm enemy, which had a candlestick, and you were shoving the candles into his eyes.
Yeah, but like setting the robe on fire and then kicking him while he's down is like...
Yeah, that's pretty
the
cool.
best way to absolve him of his guilt of wearing a bright silken robe like some kind of vain jerk.
It's the best way to absolve him of an open casket funeral.
Yeah, there you go. That's efficiency for John Blasphemous. He's like pre-cremating him.
Yeah, he's saving money for the people at the morgue and funeral centers who have to clean up the body for an open casket presentation, because now they're not even going to bother.
Yeah, he knows that guy didn't have an organ donor card. To be fair, maybe the religion has some kind of a rule about organs and all of that, so they're not allowed to be donors. We don't know, I guess. I do know that was close as hell, though. Holy hell. Run, John Blasphemous, run!
I was trying to get that charging nail to also run off the map, but that one was not cooperating.
He's a little smarter than his pal. A little bit smarter than his cousin downstairs. That's why they kept that guy in the basement.
Yeah, I don't know the exact timing of it, but the charging knell does, start decelerating when they start to get particularly close and you jump over them.
It's a really well designed enemy because it kind of baits you into waiting until the last moment for the maximum damage potential, and then when you get hit, like, it hurts your ego more than anything, unless there are other enemies, at which point it's actually deadly.
Right.
It's a really wonderful design. I don't know.
Well, I think we're gonna find Redento in this room. Hey, here he is.
He's having a time.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, my sins. Is a long journey filled with reflection not enough? What of the calluses on the feet, the cramps in the legs, the
So there's a trick here. I wonder if you could figure out what we're supposed to do, because that statue of the first genuflecting pilgrim, it moves, and we have to do a certain thing to get it to move.
What more punishment do ye...
Oh, I'm betting we have to kneel.
We must dance!
Well, keep in mind, what has Redento been giving us this whole time?
Toes! I was not joking! Dance, Blasphemous, dance! High step!
The barefoot rule, master of all errant sinners.
Oh, he's definitely been giving us beads.
You're saying that the first genuflecting pilgrim was actually Deion Sanders.
I was thinking like Fred Astaire in that he loved pain and punishment.
Then that the miracle
Oh, yes.
in its hands, so he could continue his path.
Yours valid too, though.
Of the old
You know what's invalid here? Not us! We got a full foot full of toes here.
barefoot master. What else dost thou want from me?
Well, CJ caught on to what we were supposed to be doing here, which is we're going to go into our inventory and equip all of the toes that Redento has given us. I believe there are 3 of them.
Huh? Wait. That's not the number I thought that we would have been given by this point. All right, then. Cool. I guess you do only need about that many. What's gonna happen? Statue gonna get up and walk out of the room?
Well, maybe the next best
What
thing.
else dost thou want from me?
Oh, it's gonna lay down some cardboard and disco. No.
I think at this point I was thinking that maybe I would have to explain the puzzle a bit more. So I was giving myself extra time here.
No, see, what we are doing is giving Redento time to question his faith. Don't worry, my friend. The night is darkest before the dawn. Okay, but you could stop doing that, though. He's gonna knock himself unconscious.
Barefoot master. What else dost thou want from me?
There is an unfortunate glitch. This happens with multiple characters where they have a crying out with pain sound effect that often overlaps with their dialogue. Redento is not the first and certainly not the last character afflicted with that.
That was a nice MC Hammer slide by the statue. Very good.
And this is our
Ew.
reward. This allows us to walk on water, mud, swamp, whatever, without being, over encumbered.
Oh, yeah.
Because there have been some jumps that we haven't been able to make, and that's because you need to have this equipped.
It's your rusted iron ring. We won't get slowed down by the muck anymore. That's a pretty cool reward. Huh.
However, we're not quite done with this quest yet. There's a couple of things. Like, first of all, have a listen here.
Oh, sins of mine.
Well, that's strange. Perhaps we
Where'd he
need to
go?
go back into this crevice.
He just brushed past us in the dark.
In a manner of speaking.
Ah, crap. He clipped the sword on the way in. At least it broke free of the chains, though.
The achievement name Ultrea Tsusea, there's no English equivalent. I guess the closest is like onward and upward. It was apparently a greeting that that certain types of monks used to greet each other.
Why they gotta hate on the guy in his death throes, huh? Why they gotta even name the achievement something with bitter irony? He was the most pleasant character we've met so far.
We also really haven't used any of the toes before in our rosary beads, so we're gonna go with a toe build.
Okay. Are you starting an OnlyFans?
We need more toes for that.
You don't know that. You don't know that, my friend.
So you'll notice already that we're moving a bit faster, and we're sliding faster.
Holy cow, you get distance now.
And this also allows us to do a Symphony of the Night style dash cancel.
Yes! Look at a wave dash. Yeah!
Yeah, it's a bit buggy as you can see, but it's still pretty useful.
That's kind of rad.
Now we're talking.
And now it's time to dash our way through this part.
It may take some dexterity, but I believe in you. Yeah, no, that's satisfying, all right.
Yeah, honestly, the worst part is that your timing keeps getting thrown off by the hit stun when the hoppers keep jumping into the bell.
If only that one equipable worked like I thought it did, where it prevented the flinching.
Yep, the trapezium bone it's a bone right at the very edge of the thumb, like right at the root.
Why is it called that? Does it like doing backflips from a high wire?
I think it has something to do with trapezoid, but that's I don't actually know. That's just a speculation.
That
also,
would make a little bit more sense.
That is a very strange glitch with the Dubla that I have not seen before, and I have not seen it since. I think it has something to do with the collision detection at like the end of ledges.
Maybe like you became a rain cloud for a moment, storming lightning down upon your enemies.
Yeah, so the Toronto to my sister is the lightning in that rain.
No, because that guy from Toronto, not any good at poetry, I've heard. We're back here again. My favorite room in the game.
And my favorite area in the game.
Why? So what? I guess now we're just moving forward now that we've met Redento. Are you going to go back to find any of those swampy paths?
Not in this video, but later on.
Oh, it's spring, and that means spring cleaning.
Yeah, right now we're gonna be staying mostly in Mother of Mothers, but not exclusively. And we're going to fight Melquiades again, which shockingly I actually beat him on my very first try, which I was not expecting.
Nice, dude, especially with this playthrough style with the magic type build. It's so specialized. Wait, did you beat him with the toe build?
No, but I did beat him with a particular, it's actually a new prayer we're going to be picking up in this video, which almost seems designed to not work against Melquiades at all, but somehow I managed it.
You made it work. You found the enemy that takes 1 damage from missiles, and you fired 1,000 of missiles at him. Like, I like that. I like when that works in video games. When it's like, well, all right, so Titus probably shouldn't hit God in the face because it's not weak to that. But you can if you want to just, insult it a little bit.
Yeah, little known fact, the miracle is weak to Blitzball. And unfortunately, segueing into that joke, this is the part I was warning you about. I will put a title card up here.
Oh my good God!
Old gracious lady, a visitor. Oh, please forgive me, penitent one, who stand in the presence of Socorro, our pious lady of the Perpetual Agony.
Perpetual Agony.
She's a miracle in herself, unceasing, eternal.
A zombie tied to a bed.
So, this is also one of the side quests with multiple endings. We can either mercy kill her immediately, or go on a fetch quest for some quest items and help her give a more dignified death, where she will probably actually be in like the right side of the dream.
It wouldn't be very religious of you to just end her suffering like that, as nice as it would be.
That is an option, and we will be doing that in the third playthrough. Not in this one, though. We're going to do her quest properly this time.
That's good, because this is a sordid situation. Why does there have to be a lady of perpetual agony? Why, huh? Why can't she be the lady of perpetual unagony?
For all of us, day by day, with no rest, with no end. She is our living miracle, a true example of holiness.
Oh, but that's horse garbage! Like a nice apple core. That's bullshit! That's cow cud. I don't believe it.
To help answer your question, I actually have a direct quote from the art book on Socorro's design.
Oh, really?
The idea of the character of Socorro, a graceful saint condemned at the same time by a miraculous and incessant power that allows her to make the pain and wounds of others her own, comes simply from an expression that many of us have heard from our mothers as children. I wish it hurt me, so it didn't hurt you.
Who the fuck's weird-ass mother says that to them? What? What kind of a mom would gaslight their child like that by saying, what are you talking about? What kind of parenting is that? Is that a common phrase?
Maybe it's a Spanish thing, who knows?
Well, they also use La Chancla in Spain. I've had a chancla thrown at my head. It hurts.
So, and the name socorro is a Spanish verb. It's kind of, it literally means help, but in its context, it's like if you drop everything to help someone. There's actually one of the Spanish names for the Virgin Mary is Virgen Maria del Perpetual Socorro, our mother of the perpetual assistance or perpetual help.
And see, I'm hyper-perperbolating, but I think it's pretty cool that they did do all that research, that they incorporated some of their own personal history into the idea of a character that is so miserable in a game that's full of misery. That's really cool.
So this room we're about to go in here, this is actually one of the last side quests that we'll be doing in this playthrough. There's a whole thing behind this, which I will explain once we actually tackle it. But meanwhile, let's place a marker on our map.
You could do that?
Yeah.
It's astounding to me the amount of depth this game has. Not the marker thing. I'm glad that that's in, but I meant the thing where it has 1,000 secrets in every room. I didn't think it was that deep, but it turns out that everywhere you go, there's like a second exit that leads to some DLC or alternate boss fight.
Bro, it is that deep.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, especially with the Socorro lady. I mean, I kind of expected them to have treated it that deep.
And that's a jump that we can only make with the nail uprooted from dirt.
What? Wait a minute. I didn't even register that as swamp water. It's any
water.
Weighed us down?
It's water, mud, swamp water, whatever.
Sewage.
Yeah.
Grunge. Slime.
Yeah.
Nukage.
Yeah, anything that impedes movement normally.
I just didn't recall it doing that, but I guess you're right. That is one of the waters we only jump one square in, isn't it?
Yep.
Fascinating. We really have been like all over the map in this episode, haven't we, in a way? But like, in a good way. Feels like we're actually getting stuff done.
Oh yeah, and you are completely unimpeded in that water now.
It's the toe build.
Exactly. The toe build, it's the toe plus nail build, also known as the Lego build.
Ow! Oh no! Now I'm the one feeling infinite perpetual agony.
And this is a new prayer, I believe, in this chest. Yeah, that is the Zambra to the Resplendent Crown, which I will try and fail to use multiple times in this video.
Now see, Zambra, good hip-hop artists come from Zambra all the time. What does Zambra do?
Well, the idea being that you get more tears from executions, but you have to equip it as a prayer in your prayer slot, so you can't use other prayers along with it.
Ah, probably good for replay games or for tithing or for trying to level up that cathedral.
Good old McMittens the nurse.
Every playthrough. I mean, we have to pass through this area, right?
Yeah. Zambra is a type of flamenco dance. I think it's mainly associated with Kante Hondo. I don't know for sure.
I was gonna ask. I figured you knew, though. That's the thing is at this point, after you say the name of some kind of Spanish dance move, I can count on Englishman to have the explanation at hand. Do you know how to do these moves? Can you flamenco?
I wish I did.
And I'm certainly not cool enough for that.
But that's the thing. I was asking the both of you. Like you've never. When I was a child, right? I used to square dance, and there are photos and video of me in a giant 10-gallon cowboy hat as a little 5-year-old or whatever. And I feel like if I had practiced, I would be able to fire lightning bolts today.
So it's been a while, but this is actually one of the items that we can take to the Pilgrim Lord of the Salty Shores in order to get another relic.
Oh yeah, it has been a while. Wow. Well, is it worth going to do that right when you pick that up?
It's worth it for the achievement. I'm trying to remember which relic you actually get from that. We won't see it in this video, but we'll see it later.
Oh, it gives specific ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Huh. You know what? I hope that the severed hand gives us like a Gradius option that follows us around with a gun. What if there was a gun mode where you just had a gun? Another Crab's Treasure, a recent game that released and is very excellent, has a mode where a game's too hard for you, that's okay. You could just have a gun in a Souls-like.
Well, I don't know about guns, but it would be nice to have a prayer that just let you like go straight forward in a horizontal beam. That'd be nice.
That actually would be kind of nice. A little pew 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 Contra thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why do I have the feeling that's foreshadowing?
My lips are sealed.
That's the thing. It was a misdirect. We're gonna learn to fire diagonally.
You know, it's been 6 years that I've been doing Let's Play, and I am getting better at misdirecting my co-commentators when I want to.
It's true. Absolute professional at it now.
Merciful be, penitent one.
Well, I don't think you can be considered a professional unless you have, I think it's 10,000 hours of experience. Well, we'll get there eventually. That's gonna take a
lot of Let's Plays.
Yeah.
Time outside these walls passes by strangely.
That's gonna take a lot of playthroughs of Blasphemous. See you in video 756, folks.
But if your penance happens to carry you under said skies, be so kind as to bring us some ingredients for our ointments.
And he's like, again? I just did this.
Penitent one full of clemency.
What, were you not full of clemency before this moment? Where'd all your clemency go, dude?
I don't know. We'll find it in a side quest or something.
Yeah, I betcha. I bet this is the game.
Fresh out of Clemency.
I love that album.
Oh, I think I was trying to set up a joke here about feet. That the Pilgrim Lord would really appreciate all the sliding I was doing.
I mean, I think that he would appreciate the build you're rocking.
At the time of its death, before the journey, the miracle kissed the hand of the Master, stopping the corruption of the flesh and granting him a new grace.
Kissed the what of the Master? I'm sorry, we don't talk about those around here.
Watch over it, for it is now pure and sacred.
And with that, we have all the relics, or at least the relics that you get in the vanilla version of the game.
I love that the icon is his foot, not his hat.
To the other side of this false dream.
Well, I mean, 100%ing this game is it is a game of feet and inches.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I like that. I like that
right.
a lot.
So this makes your controller vibrate when you're near sacred walls. Actually, I don't actually. You know, it plays a sound. I don't remember if it makes your controller vibrate or not. I think I forgot to show it off, but because the map resets on New Game Plus, I'll be able to show it off in playthrough number 3 in one of the rooms that we already saw last time, but will be rediscovered.
I like things like that in games like this, where you can't expect folks to either look it up or know everything intrinsically. So it's good to have an object or an item you can equip that's like, here, I'll find the secrets for you, but you got to give up a slot for it. That's good game design. Oh, look at that, man.
Well, yeah, at this point in our playthrough, we don't actually have the fast travel between pre-dias yet, so I'm just going to dump in all of my tiers, because I think you need 20,000 in total to unlock the pre-dia fast travel.
Dude, it's like me when winter falls upon the earth. You know, minus the Prozac.
Do your tiers occasionally go into the negatives when you do that?
So only briefly, and then I drink some electrolytes and feel a lot better. That's the thing. They don't imply that they're your tiers. Are they your tiers?
They are very specifically not your tiers. They are the tiers of the enemies we kill.
Oh, that's got to be tedious for the penitent one. That's got to be tedious too. Oh shit, Gorgons! Ah! Look out for the Medusa heads!
They're closer to booze in terms of mechanics, but yeah, why not? A combination of all of those.
They are actually, the way they phase in and out. They're shy, I suppose, about their reading. Fair enough to them.
I think the way it works is that they become they become visible and sentient once you cross a certain vertical line, which aggroes them.
Oh, they stop being an obstacle for you after you've passed it, because that probably would be annoying.
Or when you're above it.
Something like that.
Yeah. More importantly, when you're above it.
What? I have a question. Were those there last time?
Yes. Yeah, they were.
Oh my god.
I don't remember that enemy name, but it is they were around last time.
I've just blanked that enemy from my head.
Yeah, I think aside from like a few specific bosses, there aren't any new enemies in New Game Plus. The old enemies just get harder.
The guy throwing the book at you is a really good enemy attack. Like, he can boomerang the book. He's using Castlevania moves on you.
Yeah, that was also similar to another enemy whose name I forgot, the one that threw the cross boomerang at us.
Again, they're reversing the mechanics of classic Metroidvania games. You know, Metroid and Castlevania, those Metroidvanias.
Cease.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
Oh yeah, the Keeper.
Wars, and no one
When I first played this game, I thought he was carrying a giant head.
always obscured.
Kind of looks like that, yeah.
For the love
With a beard and stuff, made of keys.
For I have
So anyway, this guy forgot to turn his alarm off on his phone, and now it's blasting all throughout the library. And he's asking us to turn it off.
make the sound cease.
I can't believe this. He could just go do the work himself. What? Alright, I liked Redento better. Now I'm sad that Redento's dead so that he won't show up here. Like, looking at the shelves like, oh, hello there. I'm not doing anything particularly mean or advantageous.
Well,
just perusing.
So this is me trying to show off the Zambra. The thing is that, well, first of all, again, it's meant to give you more tiers when you perform executions. However, there's a weird glitch with it because of how prayers in general are programmed. Also, I think I die here. Yep.
Oh, that room just whacked you around.
Maybe not, yeah, maybe not the best room to show that off. It's like a pinball machine.
Okay, so he's dizzy. I go in. However, when you prime the Zambra, it does 1 point of damage to any enemies in its hitbox. So I killed it before I could show off the increased tiers from executions.
Whoops! You actually did too well. You pushed it over that magic pixel.
Yeah, so yes, pro tip for anyone using the Zambra in their playthroughs, when you activate it, make sure you are not standing inside the enemy hitbox.
That's smart, though, to put it on just before you take out an enemy. That's classic Souls game tactics, where you have like a split second between when the boss dies and you get your souls to put on all your soul-increasing items.
Yeah. Also, there's a confessor statue up here.
Oh, hey, look, we can blood jump to it.
Yeah.
That boy, I'm glad that the world is coagulating for us.
Blood perpetuating in sand, or as I started referring to it in my notes, blood piss.
Very good. Again, fits with the kidney stone motif.
Now this bone ends in a quote. I forget which video it is, but there will be a video where this is very important.
He claimed to be able to contact the high wills on his own.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to phrase that, implying that it takes the prayers of many people to do whatever the fuck that means. So, that probably requires a whole lot of people to be miserable.
Well, I mean, we don't exactly know what the high wills are. Like, for all we know, it could be like some attempts to anthropomorphize the miracle so that, you know, the citizens of Custodia could understand the miracle's actions. But again, we don't know exactly, and we won't know until the next playthrough.
That's very true. There are lots of things, I suppose. I'm operating on the idea, right, that there's something that has initiated the miracle. But what if the miracle itself initiated itself?
And that was like four or 500 tears from a single execution while using the Zombra.
I mean,
that's beautiful.
That's quite the income. I mean, when stuff like this gives you a boost, it usually is only a tiny fragment of a boost. But that's pretty significant.
You know, in hindsight, this supposedly harder version of the Ghastly Baroness, she really doesn't do much, does she?
Not especially.
Inattentive. She's busy with her books.
That is fair. I mean, she could kill us faster, but she doesn't want to make too much noise.
Exactly. It's that infernal sound that you've got to turn off. It's bothering everyone in here. Can't focus with that noise.
In fact, unlike the other Ghastly Baroness type, you can hit her multiple times before she dashes away. So really, it would make more sense if those two enemy types were swapped. Like if you put the wax-based Ghastly Baroness in this area instead.
What if they just, like, wore the same outfit to the party and were like, oh, now one of us has to go home and change? You don't need that. That's excessive. I think you can make it through with 3.
We need it to complete Nacimiento's quest. Because you have to keep feeding him Quicksilver, and you can't do that unless you have, you know, blood vials to give away.
That's true.
Or, excuse me, they're bile flasks.
You know what? It's convenient that they put that there then. It's almost like they knew what they were doing, like they're good game designers.
This is the best look that I've had at this enemy, and it is horrifying.
They've got a complex relationship, the two of them. It's not for us to speculate on.
That's fair.
It's a case of the blind leading the blind in a way.
Well, this is strange.
We have...
Oh.
Hey, we've got some of those, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
I mean, not just in our bodies, but, like, also in our inventory. Are you hungry?
Well...
That's what it's asking, right?
Maybe.
Like a dog, you just start gnawing on the bones? Wait a minute.
So that's one of the clues we might need later. I think we're going to return to this room in a later, in a later room. I'm realizing now I may have forgotten to cut this part out. Oh wait, never mind. That was just a weird editing decision.
I'm gonna say that I like this style of commentary. Director's commentary in the dark. You don't even know what you edited, such that it's a surprise to everyone.
It helps when you have a terrible memory to begin with.
See, that's the thing, is like, I think that we should, like, initiate this as a movement. Totally blind Let's Plays. Like opening a Christmas present.
So this is a strange little puzzle. There's a prayer up there in that chest, but we need to arrange the staircase, as well as making use of the blood piss to get ourselves over to that side while the gate is open.
Interesting. It's like a combination timing and dexterity puzzle. I like it.
And one more step, which is to pull this lever, which will slide the ladder over and activate the gate.
Very cool. I like that. I like little room-sized challenges like that. What the hell is that?
This is a horizontal beam that shoots infinitely in one direction briefly.
Man, and it's not even my birthday. Yet we got exactly what we asked for.
Ho ho ho!
So
this
the
is
two
Toronto to my sideways.
Yeah. The two main disadvantages are that it uses a lot of fervor, and also it doesn't shoot very high. It shoots directly in front of you.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, we've fought enemies that can do that to us. Why not do it right back to them? Rad. What the...
Well, this is strange.
That guy seems to be missing something.
Perhaps that's a hint of some sort.
He's got a pretty slim neckline, though, at the very least.
This might be the banging that guy was talking about.
It's not that annoying. I say let him do his thing. He looks like he's working out some problems. Like,
Excuse me, sir.
Despite being a secret room in this area, the incorrupt hand of the servant actually doesn't work here. I think it's glitched. You're supposed to be hearing an extra noise.
Maybe they figured there was enough of a hint already.
That is a naked dead guy.
Naked dead guy with something to say.
Line in the Family Guy pose, basically.
Do the walls lies the way out of this place?
Oh, you made it over here fast.
I saw you poking around in there.
Diosdado by name, Night Watchman by trade, I'm at thy mercy. You have my gratitude for quelling such an unbearable sound.
I bet it echoed down here.
Of denied words, for the pages that lie within these dusty tomes are forbidden and forever shall be. All that accompanies me here are these ponderous keys, and the wandering soul.
Oh, this is all a big misunderstanding. The noise that was annoying him was actually the jangling of his keys.
Oh, man. It's like when you have a pencil behind your ear and you're like, where'd my pencil go? Or when you're like,
yeah.
oh, damn, that infernal noise is bothering me to hell. Oh, it's my infernal noise.
So the young mason's wheel just increases your movement speed while you have it equipped.
Ooh.
Wait, that doesn't track. Wait, why'd that come from him? What does this have to do with the Night Watchman fella? The book
I'm not entirely sure, but I'm glad to have this upgrade at least.
That's true, actually. Hang on a minute. I hadn't thought about this. There are some gaps that are hard for you to cross. With movement upgrades, can you make those easier? Did they think about that?
I believe so. I mean, all these movement upgrades are entirely optional. But yeah,
right. Like it's one of those things where I'm sure they made the game without them in mind, or designing them without your use of them in mind. And then they were like, maybe they went back through and were like, this would be easier if you had like a super long jump, like fucking Usain Bolt. Running 100 miles an hour down Custodial Lane.
Yeah, this is me forgetting about the Zombra hitbox thing again. Oops.
Oh yeah, that. Is that gold effect indicating that it's active?
Yeah, and you can see there's a timer in the top left corner that indicates how long the spell is in effect.
Pretty cool.
Drop of coagulated ink is just a standard upgrade to all of your prayers once you have it equipped.
What? Wait.
Increase prayers. Okay.
How though? I don't mean like mechanically how in universe. I mean, how? In what way does it make your prayers better?
It just gives like a generic power up to all prayers. While
I'm sorry,
you have
I think
it.
you mean a power up.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, that's. I guess it's good that the game has a number of those, actually, because, like, you could put them together, especially for a build like this on New Game Plus where magic is your thing. Interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna need the Silvered Lung of Dolphos for this one. I'm not the biggest fan of the prayer, or of the bead that we get at the end of this, but I don't know. This section's pretty fun.
Wow. All right, that's a real good use of this spell. Like that, boy. I mean, we prayed for it and we got it, didn't we?
Yep.
Thanks, Miracle.
I think I'm gonna save my explanation for the name Larkiana for later, though. I'll do that next video.
Man, and see, that's the thing. Whenever you hold one of those close to your chest, I become a little bit scared. When I'm like, uh-oh, which character's gonna have to die before we get the explanation?
Yeah, there are still some things I haven't explained yet, going back several videos that are still in my notes. I'm just gonna have to bring up a specific time to talk about those.
Well, see, that's what's been nice about this being a multi-playthrough is that you've got time to talk about all that, and this game's got so very much to talk and yuck it up about. I can't believe it. I can't believe there's so much content in this game.
Yeah, so the Amber Eye is defense against electricity.
Handy. So like
if we were
looking strikes.
Like if we were fighting Perpetua, for example, she has a lot of lightning attacks. That would be helpful against her.
That's cool. I like that a lot. That it is Souls-like or even Castlevania-like in that way, where you'll find things that you can equip for specific bosses in case you're having trouble. Like, I like that, because, like, you might be taking too much damage, and that's your only problem. Otherwise, you'd win. And hey, if it helps you.
I like that it gives it to you after the boss that you would have been helped by it with.
Those are always so funny. I love those when it's like, save it for next time.
So be it.
Finally, we're gonna get we're gonna get her help on Melquiades. I've been saving it for this as well as Exposito.
I mean, she's only been waiting around for the entire game this time. To be fair, you've been powerful enough to not really need Viridiana's help in a while.
Yeah, I'm doing this more to show it off.
That's worth it.
It also means that there's a particular spot where she shows up, Viridiana shows up towards the very end of the game if you still have her alive. So, and I mean, there are multiple versions of that dialogue depending on how old she is at that point.
Wow. That's cool. It's cool. I mean, of course they thought about it. They would have had to make the scenario, but that's cool that they bothered.
So
that's very cool.
The name Melquiades comes pretty directly from the Hebrew melech, which means king, or Malka is queen. His design, you'll notice he is has plenty of jewelry and rubies and things on him. This is based on something called the Catacomb Saints. That's why you don't want to use Larkiana, or at least only on the hands. You don't want to use it on Melquiades proper. The Catacomb Saints, during the iconoclasms of the 16th and 17th centuries, in which Catholic relics and other valuables were destroyed, the Vatican had skeletons of saints exhumed and decorated with jewelry and sent them over to other European churches. I think it was mostly as like a morale booster across the continent, because this was during the iconoclasts, where it became very in vogue to destroy any and all religious objects.
I picture like a greeting card kind of a thing, where like you send it packaged with a skeletonized pope, and it's like, "Hi, how are you? I am fine. Here is Benedict Paul John the 14th."
Well, there's one modern historian, I forget his name, but when he did some he did a paper or two on the Catacomb Saints, and he compared the experience of a church owning one to that of a vanity license plate.
Yeah, no, yeah, perfect, actually. That's exactly what I was picturing. That it was like, listen, if they're destroying our religious objects, let's flaunt those proud.
Yeah.
To be 9S, that doesn't refer to Nier Automata characters. It means 2 bongs, 9 sluts. Yeah, rejected
Also,
license plates, baby.
Look at Melquiades' fingers there. he was doing what is now considered the traditional forget-me-not or fingers crossed, but that had different religious meaning, several hundred years ago, and it was closely associated with the Catholic Church.
Yeah, nowadays it just indicates sarcasm.
Or if you're playing Hades 2, it indicates something that you want to make sure you get the right resources to grind for it. There is a similar Jewish hand symbol, actually. There's a particular gesture that is mostly associated with the Kohanim, the priests of the old tabernacle, which is now known these days in a much different context, because Leonard Nimoy used that hand gesture for the Vulcan salute in Star Trek: The Original Series.
That's the part.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
That's the part where you're not supposed to look during and I know this isn't the right word for it, sermon. Everyone's supposed to have their backs turned or their eyes closed, and Leonard Nimoy peeked, and that's what he based Live Long and Prosper on.
Mm-hmm.
What a story. That's dope. That those kinds of things translate into fiction through people who just want to include a part of their history just for fun. We saw that literally in this video. We literally saw that with the description of that item that drove me nuts. Socorro and her poor situation.
I wish there was like a story about the Vulcan nerve pinch, having the origin of like I don't know, at a yeshiva, punishing naughty boys or something. But no,
you've never dealt with nuns in Catholic schools, so I'm convinced they all know how to do that.
We were talking about La Chancla. I grew up in the south of the United States, where a lot of folks know the Vulcan nerve pinch, all right. There are a lot of abuelas out there who used to catch me by the ears.
So, next...
I'm just saying that it reaches far and wide across the religious spectrum, across the spectrum of race, ethnicity, space, and time, thanks to Blasphemous now.
Well, next time I think we're going to be fighting Exposito, some more side quests. I believe we're going to be tracking down some of the things we need for Socorro to help end her suffering properly, as opposed to giving her an instant kill. These updates are going to stay pretty consistently long up until we get back to Crescenta again, because that's the lock-in point for the point of no return.
Excellent. Grab your popcorn, folks.
Good stuff.
And remember, death to Escribar.
This game has plenty of blood and darkness, so that fits.